What's up, guys? We're going to be talking about tiers today. We're going to be talking about a tier list, specifically the PG stats, the Panda stats, official tier list that was released today, Monday, March 29th, and it was achieved by taking the opinions of 64 of the top 100 players, plus Armada, and kind of averaging out what the opinions all were. If it's like what Melee Stats did for rankings, then any outliers. So imagine you wanted to make Puff number one, and not enough people would put Puff at number one. You're like, but I know she's number one. Or maybe you think, or no, actually that's not the best example. Let's use let's say Pikachu. You think Pikachu's too good because Pikachu beats Marth. Right, and everyone's gonna be like, Pikachu's a mid tier. Be like, no, I think Pikachu's high tier. So you're gonna put Pikachu at third in the game, right? And so you make Pikachu third, and that'll bring Pikachu's average up and make Pikachu more likely to be where you actually think Pikachu is. So if someone sees you're doing that, they can just discount your result because they're like, this person's crazy, or they're trying to do that. And so the average of results is what's taken. So that's kind of what we're working with, and I think some people were asking if I was involved. I was not involved with the tier list, but if someone did ask me, I wouldn't have done it, so it doesn't matter to me, because, I mean, I have this whole thing about tiers, and I'll talk about it right now a little bit. What is our criteria for a tier list? Is it how well they're doing in tourney? Is it the possible theoretical potential of the character as played by humans? Is it, based on your own experiences with the matchups or experience with the character? Is it some combination of these things or even some other criteria? We don't know. And we don't really talk about things like that when we talk about tiers. So tiers can be really confusing and kind of hard to discuss because there aren't any ground rules. Someone saying Fox is better than Marth or Puff is better than everyone, and they don't explain their reasoning, you know, maybe you could agree in a theoretical sense, but you disagree in a practical sense, you know? So there are all kinds of ways to kind of figure out what a tier is, and so we have 65 total opinions on here. We don't know their priorities. We only know the numbers, the way that everything ended up getting ranked. And so already for me going into this, there's going to be some confusion, and I would like that disclaimer laid up front. But I'm not going to try and harp on it. I'm not going to discredit or disvalue it as a result. I still think the average community opinion is interesting, is worthwhile knowing about, and it will probably reflect changes in the meta and in at least tourney results over time, because that seems to be something that really influences tiers, which is okay. And so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and look at it. What do the tiers look like? Alright, it's time to talk about tiers. It's important. Everyone likes them. They're all angry. Let's figure out what the truth is. Fox, number one. Wow, he's so good. Not even losing to Marth a bunch could take him down from tier number one. As much as you hear about Fox getting bodied by Marth, he's still number one. Kinda weird. Maybe Marth loses to Sheik and Fox beats Sheik. Maybe that's how it works out. Nobody knows. 2. Marth moving up. Falco was number 2 before. Marth and Puff both passing him. Falco in shambles at this point. Part of this is due to the fact that the last tier list came out in 2015, and that was when Westballs and I were doing a lot better at the video game. And now, Westballs and I are not really playing the video game very much, but some other people are, like BBB and Ginger, but that's not enough to make the change apparently. Marth and Puff, both doing good! Stonks rising. Puff perhaps could have been number 1 if this had come out like 2 years ago, but it didn't. It came out like today or whatever. So that's why Puff is 3, I guess. Marth getting 2, pretty good. Marth Stonk been rising since 2015, I would say, for no reason in particular. But anyway, Zane doing very good, staying number 1. He was the number 1 player of last year. It might only be a matter of time before Marth hits number 1, but for now, number 2. Sheik in A tier. Very unusual change. No longer a top tier. Sitting alongside Falcon and Peach. In the past, it's been Puff, Falcon, Peach in the same tier forever. But now Sheik is down. Will Sheik make a comeback in the online era? Seems like no. Spark gone. Face Roll gone. Swedish gone. Probably someone else that I'm not thinking about gone. But we got J-Mook and we got Face Roll playing a little bit again because he wants to do the circuit. And so maybe something will happen. But yeah, Plup too. But yeah, she could make a comeback. This is where change could happen. We'll see. Falcon up. Peach down. The change. Armada. Probably. But we do have Triff and Laud, so everything's going to work out alright. Probably. But yeah, Falcon rising up. Wizzy's won tournaments. Nuns, I think, won tournaments, or at least been doing really well. S2J won a couple tournaments. Falcon stock rising. Will Falcon go over Sheik? Will Falcon go over Falco? Because when does Falco win tournaments outside of when Mango wins them? Or Ginger wins them, or whatever. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, good job, Falcon. Alright. B plus and minus tier. Very weird. This is a massive tier, I'm now realizing. But it kind of makes sense because it's kind of like a mid tier sort of thing. But I guess there's a clear separation. So if you looked at like the numbers of this, there's probably there's probably a separation between Peach and Icy's by a significant margin, but not that big of a separation necessarily between Samus and Luigi, but kind of a separation between Dr. Mario and Ganondorf, and that's big enough to be like a B minus and a C plus tier. And so that's why it's different. So, yeah, alright. Ice Climbers down. They were maybe been A tier or something before, but now Wobbling got banned. The downward spiral continues. Pikachu, Yoshi, probably gonna pass them eventually, but maybe not. We don't really know. Pikachu doing good. Staying at 9th. Kind of weird after all these years, Pikachu in the same spot, but there's only been one guy. Pikachu has won that tourney in that meantime, but oh well. Not beating Zane 40 trillion times, not enough. Yoshi moving up. Samus moving down. Amsa was established at the time of the last tier list. Now he's moved up, and it's very impressive for Yoshi to keep going. Samus moving down. A lot of the Samus players, Sam-I, if you will, have quit. Will Luigi pass Samus? Probably not, but it is something to think about going forward. B minus. Luigi up, Doc down. Now, what is the reason for this change? I honestly don't know. Because Abate stock was very high before, as well as Voodoo Jin and some other people. And so why did he go up when Fran's Dr. Mario has been going up in the meantime? I can't answer that question, but what I can tell you is other people answered that question by putting Luigi over Dom. It was probably close. Eddie Mexico did win Levo. That is fair. Maybe that was good enough. And so now we have C plus tier. Ganon and Mario in the exact same spot. They may never move. Will Mario ever be able to defeat Ganondorf? He can defeat Bowser clearly, but Ganondorf maybe. There was a period in time where Ganon was at the top of mid tier, but that was also before 2015, so it's very weird that he's just stuck in the same spot. Pretty much the middle of the game. Mario middle of the road as well. Moving on down, DK moving up. DKs have been having better performances. I don't know how much DK's moved up by. Might have only been by one spot, but either way, good job to him. Oh yeah, good job DK. We love Monk. Young Link down. Armada no longer playing him. I don't know if there's any other reason. DK stock been rising. Westball's playing him. Rishi made a video. Yeah. Link's still here. Game & Watch still here. It's hard to talk about low tiers. Why? Because low tiers don't get played a lot, and when they do get played, it's like Mango Axe Wednesday and their items, and like, what are you gonna learn about that? Probably not so much. D tier, Mewtwo up, Leffen, Roy down. Kind of weird. Roy's won tournaments. Pichu up, Ness and Zelda. Ness in the same place. Zelda down. Pichu stonk rising. Clearly, Pichu's ability to move, having the mobility, very good for him. Zelda, everyone loves down B. Kirby up. Bowser down. Bowser perhaps finally the worst character in the game, like some people have been saying. Let's go Kirby. Rising up. Ben's called the worst character, but now everyone says not as bad as you think, and if you say it long enough, that's true. Let's go Kirby. Wow, cool. Bowser down. Crazy. So what would I say are the biggest changes? The coolest, raddest changes that are in this tier list. Sheik being A tier, one of the biggest changes. Falco moving down a bunch of spots. Puff moving all the way up to here. Fox staying number 1, still honestly a really big deal. I would say Ice Climbers coming out of this tier. I would say big deal. Kirby moving up, I guess. Sure, let's go Kirby. Those are the changes. Frick. Those are the changes that I would say are really meaningful and impactful for Melee right now. This tier list was really rad. And if you like this type of content, be sure to sub and like or whatever, because I'm totally going to do it a lot, bro. Anyway, that's what tiers are. I hope you like this breakdown and analysis. I do this all the time on stream, so you should come to the stream. Alright. Yeah, good video.